everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going to be playing more Rakdos Reanimator, where the main win condition is Arden. The thing that this does is absolutely bonkers. Whenever it enters, it's not when it enters the battlefield, sorry. At the beginning of combat on your turn, exile up to one target creature card from your graveyard, exile it, and then put it onto the battlefield so it enters as a 5/5 black demon that has Menace, Lifelink, and Haste, which has a lot of creatures in our deck with ETBs. That's where the enters was coming from earlier. But other people are playing Spider-Man right now. They are streaming it. They are uploading it, of course, and I do not have the privilege to do that. So I'm going to be playing some of my favorite decks that have been kind of floating around in my archive to play again, just because I enjoy it the most. And this Reanimator deck is one of those. So with that said, let's go ahead and play. I guess I accidentally hit the Q button before I got up and went and did something. I came back. I'm so sorry. I suppose another land will keep, of course. How to play this turn out's a bit different though. Sure. I guess here should just be fear, right? Because we need to find that reanimate piece. Tap land's pretty dope. If you draw a land, I'm most likely playing this untapped one here and going into this. Obviously no blocks here. If they want to invest in this, go for it. But what they really want is me to trade this more than anything. All right, untap a land, pretty dope. We have creature. We can put land enchantment creature, so that doesn't really do it. I'm just gonna do a land, right? Because this is just enchantment. It doesn't give me anything other than that, so I'll just do that. Bitter Triumph's pretty good draw. Here comes 7 or 5, not 7. Mass hard. I don't know. Zombify gets pretty close, but maybe I should have done this just in case I ripped a Zombify. You know, it's always kind of a weird spot to be, but honestly, most likely our plan is Swamp, Overlord, Bitter Triumph. That's a 3/3. That could do a lot of damage here. I just kind of didn't figure they were going to commit onto that. Just getting flung at me now. Yeah, sure. Call 2, make a dude. Seems good. Seems good, but as we know with our deck, we can just end the game. Now we just hold back here, I think. Here comes land. Here comes Overlord. Personally enough, there's nothing. We're going to decline because if we rip that reanimate piece off the top of our library, right, we need to have another creature in our graveyard to actually bring back, and it looks like blockers are really going to matter here, so I would like to keep them. 4 cards for our opponent. A card been flung. Flang, tossed, manipulated. I don't know. Yeah, instant land creature, Eldrazi, no enchantment. Sure. Pretty hefty turn. Gonna matter a lot here on what happens. Another land, sure. Sure. Feels like a Witch Stalker Frenzy per chance. Yep. Sure. This. Let's see if they commit anything here. That's gonna die regardless. Here. Take 3 at the end of this turn. Isn't a awful trade. Manifold Mouse flip, sure. Man. It's so hard because this could just be anything for lethal, right? Nope. Just really have to rip the reanimate piece is about all the stuff I got. This to be dead? Likely not. I mean, I guess that's kind of a dead card, I guess. On land? Okay, that's fair enough. I mean, it's until the end of their next turn. If they play it here, they play it here, right? Forcing it to get played here, though. They don't use it. Okay, they're going to save it for the next creature. Fair, I guess. Oh, man. It's getting harder by the moment. Again, we are like a draw away, which is always so tough. Our opponent's on top deck mode. Sure. Walk. You're forced to commit this. One zombie 5 for a win, please. All we really need. A torch. Oh. Even this Overlord at some point would be nice. Need a land. Alice can attack. Because my Overlord's going to come up. Also, Burst Lightning, I die. Like, I'm dead to so much here. Do I get out of this game somehow? There's no way, right? Be kind of funny if they're slow rolling me, but I'll also be a little upset about it. Wouldn't be the happiest camper of all time, that's for sure. I'm at 0. And we get there. How? What a game. And that's kind of like why you just don't concede sometimes, because just because you're drawing bad at the beginning doesn't mean your opponent won't eventually do it as well. And honestly, I think these are just lands or pump spells like this that they couldn't do anything with, and we get there somehow. On the play, we get our tap land out of the way. Obviously, we'd love for this to be a surveil land instead. I've thought about even cutting these. It's just that weird thing in Best of One where it feels like as soon as you cut this card, you instantly need it every step of every direction, every way. We've all been there, of course. We're obviously digging for good cards. Kind of have to, especially against life gain. We'll have to be able to bitter triumph something important along the way at some point. Example, getting rid of that before it becomes a problem. Conduit Pyre is a pretty good rip. Help us maybe find something. Maybe spin the lands here. Now we have like a weird thing. I guess no attack. I'm gonna bitter triumph this, I suppose. Oh wow, it's just getting worse. The reason I'm taking 3 damage here, by the way, is because I want my lands for Light Shatter to potentially bend one of them. There's not a whole lot I'm going to be able to confront when it comes to this. You gonna be good enough? Probably not. Also turns my fear of missing out on, so I'm gonna hold this because I can just play it next turn. Oh my, man, the lands are incredible. The flood is real. After just a turn ago, having the hardship of what we had. Whenever this creature attacks while saddled, search the library for basic land, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle. This is 4. I don't know. If they blow this out, they blow this out. I feel like they wouldn't expect a double block here. They have something. They have something. I can't just let that grow infinitely big, right? And if I block, they can also just, like, remove a different creature as well. That worked. Hey, lands, as cool as you are, please do me a favor and, like, go away. Or let this get a Carnosaur or something. Like, let me find a valuable card at least. There goes my Zombify. This is an Overlord, so I guess I'll grab another Light Shatter back. And we just pass because obviously there's a double block opportunity here. I feel like this is a get lost. I don't know what else it could be. We'll see. Overlord should find... Oh. Battle menu. Okay, interesting. Destroy target creature with power 4. I like that I have it highlighted and it kept the mode highlighted. Although, like, obviously I kind of knew that was going to be the thing. Basic land. That's actually pretty sweet. Lets him kind of deck then a bit. We just throw a block, of course, because neither thing happens. If there was a card to draw, I guess that one's it, right? At this point of the game. Don't need you, I promise that. So what's the mana situation here? We have 5, 6, 7. 5, 6, 7, 8. Do I just Light Shatter double bin here? And I think that's honestly my answer to this. Obviously, Zombify and things like this are just much better. And we have this online next turn. So... if I hit horribly, I hit horribly, I guess. I'm going to untap this. I don't want to double barrel. How did I know I'd hit Zombify? I, like, could feel it in my bones that I was going to hit this card. That's crazy. But here we get to bring back Arden, the Overlord, bring back Overlord. Overlord will be able to double attack because of Fear. If we have another Fear missing out, honestly, it should probably be this, right? Now that I think about it. I feel pretty confident that the game's over here if they don't have any interaction, like another battle menu or something. And there's a Valgavoth, which is obviously super great, but... go to our graveyard. I think ours is a little bit more impactful here. There's going to be Arden. There's going to be Overlord. And Overlord's looking for more copies of Fear missing out. Does not find. We decline. I guess we can bring back one of these. Arden triggers. We go to graveyard. We grab a Carnosaur. We do get 1 extra combat here, so it's not that big of a deal. Put in hand. Oh, wait. I could have got Valgavoth back. Whatever. That's fine. We're missing out. Going to untap our largest. Might as well be the one that gains us to life. Mountain hit. Nothing really good in there. Decline. Then down to 1. And obviously now we just go to combat. We can just make it easy. Bring back this Overlord. It enter. Ping for 4. Call it a day. Honestly, probably also could have just done double Overlord there. Because what? That's 4 damage, 5 damage. I would have done more math if they had a much higher life total. Like, if they were in the 30s, 40s, 50s kind of range, I actually would have probably done the math. Because this entering does what? It enters, does 4, attacks, does 5, untaps, does 4, taps, does 5. So it's 9 damage per Overlord. And we also would bring back, like, the second one, which would obviously be great. But I think bringing this back on the initial reanimate was okay. Just because of the fact that, again, we're looking for Fear missing out. But we didn't find extra copies, even though there were 27 cards left. But another good win. Very cool. Mainly because we obviously have a draw. We have a Surveil. We have Fear to get like an extra draw. Just been that for sure. But don't worry, I have more Ardens than lands currently. So, you know, we're thriving. Here. Ben. Maybe we find land. Okay. Thankfully, it's also another Surveil land. This Conduit's been one of the better pickups that I've put in the deck that I've just been like... man, thankfully I put that in, you know? Sure. Obviously, there could be a lot more scary stuff going on. Zombify would be fine here. Bitter Triumph, not the best. We'll play a Light Shatter, put in an Ardent and an Overlord, of course, or maybe even a Torch. Kind of depends. No, we have an instant in there. The enchantment from Overlord will give us Delirium, I think, right? No. Oh, yeah, because I need a land. The land isn't inherently in there. But we're probably going to get hit with the United Battlefront here, if I had to guess, which then we're going to bring back Arden, bring back Overlord, just start throwing stuff around if we can. But Zombify is a sorcery, right? So the main thing here is, okay, they tap out maybe? Yeah, because they already played a land, right? So they have one plains in this. It actually means we get to have a second combat here if they're not careful, because I think they can stop the second combat. Now we go Zombify. We rip out a creature. We have to do the Overlord second, I believe. We bring back Arden here. Move the combat. So here they let this trigger happen. I kind of want it to be the one if something leaves the battlefield. So we need Delirium to stay online for the fear of missing out. Obviously, it's a play they have to see. I think they'll tap our 5/5 because they're looking to prevent damage here. But it's a trap. The fear has to attack. If they cover up the fear, I don't blame them. To be honest, I do not blame them whatsoever. Obviously, we'll untap here. And then now Arden will trigger again. Now we bring back out this Overlord. Overlord now pings them, attacks, pings them again. And we get there. If they would have tapped the fear of missing out, they would have had it covered. We would not have won in that turn. But unfortunately, maybe missed that line. It's obviously a bit weird being on this side and being like, oh, well, you know, if I take 5, sure, they can maybe untap it. I'll take 5 more. Maybe not realizing that the Arden works in combination with a fear of missing out. So we get it, fortunately enough there. Maybe not as easy, or they could have also board wiped us potentially, and then we'd be in a lot of trouble. So we'll take it. We'll take it. Better Triumph to kind of keep this hand together. Seems good. 2 Surveil lands, one being like a pretty good one to have. Systemic Landfall. When I'm putting them on, that land's a pretty good draw, so we'll keep it. Leave the Systemic Landfall. Yeah. Everything here is screaming Landfall, of course. I didn't hit the Surveil land. Probably should have, but I'm going to Bitter Triumph here. Hopefully the Beast Binder, maybe our opponent will hold up some interaction. Although, I will go ahead and force this. I don't want them to potentially have a land problem and be looking for another one. Just taking away the value a bit. And see, that's the best part. They have to invest this Bushwhack because they most likely did not actually have a land. We know Spell Pierce was not a part of that combination of cards that they just had. So not that worried about it here. I almost want to Conduit and then play this Overlord, get it taken down, and then just Overlord and remove this. I know where I'm at. Maybe that changes my mind a bit. Actually, I'm going to bend that. I don't think I need it here. And I'm going to pass. This 1 damage is literally nothing right now. I just do not care. I don't know why I'm even stressing about removing it. I'm way more worried about the 4 drops that they could play. That is kind of a problem. Let's just... I'm going to... pay 3 life here. They'll get a draw card here, but it's on their end step, so they won't get to keep anything. Obviously. Rock pretty good. Overlord in. Out of here. Now we can go into something where we warp this and then play this Overlord and get a lot of good progression. Even if they play the 4-drop here. Again, that 4-drop is one creature and it does not have trample. Enduring Curiosity is also a card that could come in here. And Landwar Elves, sure. Okay, they're going for board commitment here, which makes a lot of sense. Here. Sure. 5. Ooh, that would have been a good one. This does enter tapped, by the way. Okay, sure. Could have a very explosive next turn. They are having an explosive next turn, so we kind of are relying on it. Arnisaur. This will either be good or bad. Bitter Triumph, not the worst thing I've ever read in my entire life, that's for sure. We must discard a card, and it must be Overlord, I think. Could have been the land, I suppose. Oh, it probably should have been the land. To be fair. I forgot it was even in my hand, to be honest. I'm not that locked in right now. I'm a little underlocked, if you would. Just a flying attacker during Curiosity. Good draws back to back. Maybe not draws per se, but like good plays back to back. That obviously is not guaranteed to have been their draw. But let's go Light Shatter here. I guess bend both of those. All right, Zombify is here. We need a land. We need to survive a turn. I think we have the means to do so. Let's play Fear. You must discard. Don't land. Do I have an attack here? Probably not. I just hold everything back, right? Because my attack next turn is just so violent. It just doesn't require a combat here, I think. We really just need a tap out situation. And they do exactly that. Awesome. And a green source is in play. No trample here. This is fine. No overcommit on the attack. Oh, they do overcommit. Let's go. This is what we need. This is exactly what we need. So we get to do something super sweet. We don't have to mess this up, right? So we block and Fear. We want the extra combat to happen. But we're going to get that guaranteed anyway. So we go ahead and then we block here. We don't really care about anything else. This all happens. Sure. There's 3. We're going to draw a couple cards. They obviously have a green, or draw a card. And the reason we're going to get away with it is we're going to zombify out Arden. Right? Now Arden's going to come in and we're going to go to our graveyard and we're going to bring out Fear of missing out, right? Fear comes in. There's an extra combat potentially, or there is an extra combat. Obviously, I think we just do an all-out attack. Their blocks are not that great. This first 4, I think we also put on this creature here. Maybe it's just face. And honestly, it's probably just face, right? No, because I want them, if they blocked, for that to go away. What am I untapping here? I guess this. Maybe they'll block it. 7. Huh. You have a indestructible thing over there? No. They're down to 6. Arden, and I'm going to do this in a fun way. I'm going to bring this out because it comes back as a 5/5. Oh, it skips that step. Oh, I didn't realize it skipped that step. It does skip that. This is the beginning of combat. Oh, I had a cool idea. It failed. What would we brought back instead, I guess? probably just... I don't know. I'm not even like that opposed to it, to be fair. Yeah, anything else? Maybe Throck, I suppose? Or when this creature attacks with one target artifact creature and opponent controls, loses all abilities until next turn. Maybe I do this and I make this not have flying anymore. If that, yeah, I guess it'd be relevant with my life total. So I guess the better play is to do this, have it come in. It also adds vigilance, by the way. So we get to attack, turn this creature off for the turn, and then have good blockers on the back end. So yeah, my bad. All right, opponents first. Yeah, we'll definitely keep this. Zombify, a way to get rid of this. Everything kind of going the way we want. A graveyard deck that we also know takes a little bit of time to get going. So obviously pretty pumped about that. We're just at fine land territory right now. And we find just that, which is obviously awesome. Here, I think I will take one more land, especially that one, because it's a bit more colorful for what we need. It does give us a second red, even though our hand right now is obviously incredibly just black pips here with, you know, everything going on. But Sephiroth, maybe. Blood Witch. If I'm going to remove this card, I'm going to do it now. I might as well not wait. Obviously, no graveyard hate really going to be coming out of our opponent here. We get rid of that just because we don't want to remove it and take extra damage. Obviously, cards like Sephiroth are just so strong. Feels unnecessary to do so. Now we Overlord and we look to hopefully fuel a fear of missing out. We unfortunately miss. What do we go for here? Do I keep this card, I guess? Or do I want this attacking? I kind of want this attacking, I guess. I'll decline. We'll figure it out later. So I guess like the idea could be I could warp it this turn, but let's be honest, we're zombifying. If the rolls were a bit different, I definitely would have done like brought it back to my hand. Just three. Oh my, Vengeful's everywhere. I guess realistically, here's actually a pretty cool play. We bring back Arden, right? We actually take their Blood Witch, I think, because anytime they sacrifice anything, the Blood Witch will happen. So like for every 2, I also get 1, right? So it's not even like a net loss that badly. So now if they have 20 triggers, they have to now have 40 because they have to do 1 more than me. Obviously, this card is also a problem. Sephiroth's kind of an issue to some extent, obviously. But now you'll see 3 triggers here happen. Obviously, if Arden could have brought back a Sephiroth, I gladly would have done so. Let's be careful what they put in there. Also, me doing Arden does make their graveyard plan inherently worse, right? Down to 15. Sure. Bitter Triumph. We're getting... That Sephiroth is mine. Give it up. I mean, I'm going to discard a card here. I'm going to get rid of this mountain. I am now the Orzhov Graveyard Hate piece deck. Give it up. Now... I'm going to decline. I just want to have a Sephiroth in play. There. I'm still going to decline. I just want to basically take all their good value cards away from them. That's a 10-point life swing. Also, if creatures die. Face to past. Sure. Reminder. I think this is any. Whenever another creature dies, target opponent loses life. Again, I have a lot going on. Whenever this creature dies, though, I guess I thought this was all creatures for some reason. Did not realize it wasn't. Although, I still have Sephiroth triggers, I guess. Well, when Sephiroth flips here, I just lose the card, don't I? I guess I can sacrifice that guy and then blow up the Sephiroth so I can't do it anymore. I guess that's an option, right? Also, why not pop the tokens? You know what I mean? Like, why not get rid of the flyer instead of like your actual card? It should hit Sephiroth, I believe. Oh, weird. Okay. Again, I think Sephiroth goes away. I think I No, I get it. Okay. Because for some reason, maybe it's because it's a copy. Hold on. I'm gonna make everything about what they did suck. I'm gonna bring back Arden. But I thought when I made a copy of this, it only made a copy of the front side. Obviously, I'm clearly wrong on that decision. But I thought it only made a copy of the front side for some reason. And if it were to transform or flip, the back side would technically be blank. This is back-to-back like videos I've done where there's been a situation where I thought maybe worked a bit differently. But I want... Beginning combat on your turn, exile up to one target creature card from a graveyard, exile this way. Create a token that's a copy of that card. See, I thought for some reason if you copy this, you just didn't get the backside. Whenever transform it. Or maybe I thought maybe it would transform and just fail. I don't know, it's weird. I thought this went away for some reason, but clearly it didn't. Somebody gave me a good rules analysis the other day. Maybe you can give me another one here. So, for that, we'll move on. I think I want to try to play the Fear if they do. Okay. Deal done made, brother. I will gladly put my Arden in my graveyard. That is where he is known to be at all times. I was playing a Terra deck. And I don't know why I popped my lips like that. I was playing a Terra deck. Oh, this is Teamer Battlecruiser. Or Teamer, not Battlecruiser, but Teamer, Battle Crier, I think. I believe that's what I'm against. We have chances, but not great ones, to be honest. We weirdly have to play this Fear of Missing Out. I was right. We weirdly have to play this Fear of Missing Out and remove that. Which doesn't make me entirely happy, but... Do I have an instant? I do. So I have a... Oh. Delirium's going to be so hard here. Do I have a way to do Delirium? I can do... If I do push, pull... Well, I guess I don't have a way to bring back Arden other than that, I guess. Do we do this? Fortunate. Obviously, we have to get rid of this. We can't let it be there. Definitely a tough one. Sure. Maybe they just have a dead hand now. That'd be great. That'd be the best case scenario. Let's do here. Let's do here and here. Surveil seem more important. And with that, we definitely get that kind of surveil importance. Also, I have a pretty good card here. I don't actually want to exile my Arden by accident, so I'm not going to do anything there. Delirium should be online almost no matter what. I can't think of a scenario where it wouldn't be. So, I guess Enchantment's gone. What are the odds if I bring this out? So I have instant, creature, land... I think it'll take Delirium away from me, weirdly enough, here. It might have Spell Pierce, obviously, or some kind of counter magic. The deck doesn't typically play it that often. But, yeah, sure. Could I attack? Probably not. Again, with only one Arden in there. Spell Pierce seemed crazy to me. But now, with Push-Pull, I get a lot of options anyway. 3 steps ahead used. So hopefully our opponent takes a setup turn here. That'd be awesome. But they can combo. The battle crier is pretty wild. I think I exiled it, yeah. I guess card's pretty wild. They can do a lot of crazy things with it. It looks like that's the problem. I mean, I'm jamming. I don't think I have a choice. They randomly ripped another Spell Pierce. They have another Spell Pierce in a format, maybe a 3 steps ahead. And then, in my opinion, they're playing too many counter spells, and I'm just not going to be able to play around it all day anyway. Yeah, like, Their hand has Spell Pierce 3 steps, 3 steps. There's a reason they haven't comboed yet, if you want my opinion. Now I don't think I have a choice, and I have multiple reanimate pieces in there, so Fear unfortunately hit. Maybe should have just went to combat, I suppose, but flashback for 4. I do think like playing too many counter spells is a bad thing. Now they attack. Here. That just resolved, so maybe it's another Spell Pierce. And I'm just going to do it. Yeah, see, that's my thing with all these counter spells. I feel like the only reason they didn't combo, unless they're, of course, on a different pile. I see this, so who really knows? But having Spell Pierce 2, 3 steps ahead just means you don't have the creatures that give you value. I could be wrong on what this deck's actually doing and how they have changed the list, because obviously metas evolve and change, and I've seen a very few amount of cards, but it feels like my opinion kind of stands, because we saw Landwar Elf, a different Landwar Elf, fair, Battle Crier, and then things that work-ish with Battle Crier. I don't know. All right, well, that's going to do it today. I'm not really going to talk about the deck too much. Obviously, we got Spider-Man right around the corner, and it's just one of those, like, kind of honestly annoying times to record overall, just because it's like record just to have other people posting early content, but I know a lot of people are like, I don't even watch that because I don't like that they're playing with new cards, and I don't get to for like a week plus, so it doesn't really mean anything. There's this weird like kind of confliction in between of, do I still record and upload? Do I just say, you know what, sure, mini vacation kind of thing? But I do have Atlanta coming up. I have to go to that next week, so that Tuesday I have to record all my videos and then upload them all for about a week, and then I get back. I think it's an 8-hour drive, 8 to 10, somewhere around that range. And then after all that drive, we're going to come back at the end of that night, I think. After Atlanta's done, we're going to drive back. So I'll be back Monday-ish. I say ish lightly because I don't know what state I'm going to be in when I wake up that next day after being gone for a while, or traveling 8 hours after doing an 8-hour show. So yeah, it'll be an interesting one. But with that, I hope you all enjoyed the video regardless. This is one of my most fun decks that I enjoy playing more than anything. And my mouse is dying because it refuses to charge. So hopefully I'm just being an idiot and not charging it right. Or it's not going bad, because I would suck to have to get a new mouse. But, yeah. So here's kind of the craft guide. The lands aren't even that bad, really. I have a lot of basics in here. Because we're on 23. You could play like a Fable Passage maybe if you want to. I don't really like the Restless Fence. I think his card has been bad overall, and playing it on turn 1 just kind of sucks, but I like having, you know, my lands that make sense in terms of making extra colors. And the split is 19-18 on black to red cards, so realistically it's pretty even split overall. Maybe you can argue cut this, play a Cavern or 2, just because then you could play it on like Nightmare or something, or Wizard, Dinosaur, or Eldrazi, just to make sure like these things maybe resolve on the turn you want to, or like the avatars as well. But at the end of the day, I have a lot of fun playing this deck. I think it's one of my more fun decks to play in general, so obviously I'm excited anytime I get to play it. With that, I hope you all enjoyed anyway, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.